So as of today, the online safety bill is live and active, which is quite, it's quite concerning, really. Obviously, I know you guys have done a lot of segments on the Online Safety Act, and I think a lot of other people have been really hammering the drum.
You want to give us a summary, though, just to catch everyone up?
Yeah, the Online Safety Bill is a new piece of legislation that came out in 2023 that essentially gives Ofcom a bit more power and regulatory power to take down add either fines and to take down potentially any platforms online that could be spreading, it's framed as harmful towards children. But there are stuff within the bill that's sort of crowbarred in that we want to cover today. But essentially, you could be fined up to 10% of the revenue if you own a platform, or I believe it's £18,000 or euros, I believe. 18 million euros. So I thought in this segment we could go through what are the mainstream media saying. Yep. Just to see their sort of take. And then I actually ran the bill through AI and done a prompt and asked for some underreported parts about the bill that I wanted to share, essentially. So we'll start with The Guardian, of course. So it says everything you need to know about the new Internet Safety Bill. It says... from mandatory age verification to criminal liability for non-compliant executives, the legislation marks a new era of digital accountability in keeping children safe online. From tomorrow, so today, social media companies must introduce child safety measures under the Online Safety Act. It is a key moment for a British government attempting, like so many others, to rein in tech firms and prevent children encountering, quote, harmful content on the internet. Quite broad.
I just want to say I actually really agree with the theme behind it. I don't think children should be on the internet, basically. And I don't let my kids just...
Well, that's the problem. Everyone agrees with that, and then that's how they suck you into shutting down X.
Into agreeing with it, and then they decide what's harmful. Tommy Robinson's harmful.
Yeah,
Carl Benjamin's harmful.
Exactly. It says, passed by Parliament in 23, the landmark legislation significantly empowers the regulator Ofcom. Peter Carl, the Science and Technology Secretary, described the new codes as a watershed moment that turned the tide on, quote, toxic experiences on these platforms.
It's very broad, isn't
it? Very broad.
And he's just been on Newsnight. A lot of people pointed out he just wore a T-shirt on Newsnight. He's an MP. But then BBC were asking him, and could you shut down X? They could barely contain themselves. Like, can you shut it down? And he sort of didn't rule it out.
100%. That's all right.
That's the target.
Yeah, exactly. Another
I hope
substantial...
Elon Musk is paying attention because he is genuinely...
He's next. Yeah, he's definitely next. It says another substantial change is the requirement for pornography websites to verify that users are aged 18 or older, using methods such as photo ID matching, facial age estimation, credit and debit card checks, mobile operator verification, and open banking and digital ID wallets. So, yeah, it's...
I'm not really against them making sure that the people are accessing porn sites are 18 or more. That's fine. But that's not the issue. And the thing is, they could easily have just said, so that's what we're going to do for porn sites. So if you're not a porn site, it's not a problem. Who cares, right? And that would be what you actually would do if you wanted to protect children. You wouldn't have all of this extraneous stuff in it.
Exactly. It's a bit like, it reminds me of, obviously the trouble with illegal immigration and how the government wants to tackle it, and then introducing the Blairite, digital ID. It's just using something to, enact something else, like a Trojan horse. Technology platforms, this is Yahoo News. Tech platforms operating in the UK now have a legal duty to protect young people from some of the most dangerous forms of online content. This includes pornography, content that encourages, promotes, or provides instructions for violence, promotion of self-harm, and eating disorders. Those failing to comply face hefty fines. Until now, parents have had the the role of navigating web content filters and app activity management to guard their children from harmful content. And as of the 25th of July 2025, the Safety Act puts greater responsibility on platforms and content creators themselves. Now, going through this, I want to just skip ahead just a bit. You mentioned about BBC Newsnight. Yeah. So immediately the question was about X. So could Britain shut down X? Britain has the power now to shut down any platform. It says
Science and Tech Secretary Peter Kyle just wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's what people were commenting on. He looks like he's selling a new workout program.
New iPhone out or something, is that?
Testosterone replacement therapy.
It says me sat in a T-shirt.
Yeah, but you're not an MP for a start. Yeah, you're not an MP on Newsnight.
So I would just do a bit of this.
Is that one of the challenges that parents face is that parents didn't grow up in an age where there were smartphones and apps and social media. I didn't, you didn't. So that means that you didn't have the inherited experience of being parented in that world. So you don't grow up with the innate knowledge and the vocabulary and the relationship issues that come with trying to set boundaries and having boundaries set for you as children. For us, it was all in the offline world. So if you were 18 or 19 now, you were born the year that the iPhone was released. So you've only known a life of smartphones, but their parents have only known a life without them. So whereas they were children themselves. So we have to have this big issue. Now, I owe a huge apology on behalf of society and every government that's gone before for every child who is over the age of 13 now, because they have been exposed to hateful, violent, misogynistic and pornographic material, not because the children go looking for it, but because it finds them.
The algorithm,
that's how bad it's become.
The algorithm of these for-profit shoves harmful content and porn at 8-year-olds. It's now said that 8% of 8 to 14-year-olds have visited a porn site in the last month.
You're angry about it. I am angry about it. Every parent is angry about it, but we've allowed this to go on since the invention.
Anyways, so...
But wouldn't the solution to be ban children from having iPhones then? Like, I don't think they should have access to any algorithm or any...
Or social media.
Yeah, social media at all.
You missed the best bit with poison, the BBC guy says, let's go and watch some porn together. Did you see?
Sorry?
And I can find you some porn.
He said, the BBC guy says...
Go on X now, we can look at it together, and I can find you some porn on
Classic BBC presenter.
But the framing is all around, of course, children as well, and it's all about they're heavily focused on pornography when there are actually other things in the bill that has been harmful content, very vague.
It said misogyny.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that mean?
There was one particular social media site, I don't use this site personally, but it talks about how a particular site called Gab was taken down because of this. Now, unfortunately, the post isn't available, but the Online Safety Act had already gone back a few months ago and said, well, when the Online Safety Act comes through, that this particular platform was threatened fines of 18 million euros or 10% of its annual revenue, so they pulled out. They said, we're not paying a penny, we're not going to do it, and they decided to pull out completely from it. So apparently a lot of small businesses, a lot of social media, like small social media websites, have already pulled out from the UK because of this piece of legislation.
And BitChute already did, didn't they? If you go on BitChute now, you just get a statement saying we can't exist in the Communist United Kingdom, basically.
Yeah. Just to be clear as well, I know Andrew Torba, not well, but like, you know, he basically has been on a similar journey to like all of us, because we've been doing this for a long time now, and Torba was one of those. So he created Gab, and he's an American. And he's like, look, it's a free speech platform. You know, I'm not going to command people control on it, but as society got more left-wing, he became more right-wing in the same way I have, frankly. Not quite as right-wing as Andrew, but the point is he's just drawn a hard line saying, no, I'm an American. These are the American rights. This is the law that I follow. I'm just not going to do what foreign countries tell me to do, which I entirely respect, to be honest. But you can see how same with BitChute as well. It began as, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll set up our own free speech platforms and create a parallel economy. The governments have just legislated out of existence for us now.
No, you can't. Well, what's Trump's government saying on this?
Well,
we don't know.
He hasn't
said anything at the minute.
But if we tried to shut down X, for example, that would be a humiliation when Starmer goes to where the free speech capital.
But it might be why Trump's in. But in 4 years' time, if Trump wasn't in,
right. If it's
AOC, they'd adopt similar legislation.
This is why I don't think they'll actually take any action against
in the next 4 years.
In the next 4 years,
they'll wait
because Trump, you know, he might have his disagreements with Elon, but he's a nationalist, and he'll be like, "You're not coming after our companies."
They'll wait 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to read out some other stuff because I obviously filtered the entire bill through AI, and it's brilliant to do that because it gets rid of all the legal jargon, and it really does help home in on some of the stuff. And I wanted to read out some stuff that I found. So here's a few things that it picked up on when I asked it to investigate and how it might affect things like platform policies, content creators, user privacy, innovation, and obviously commentary, things like that. It talks about threatening, harassing messages and encouraging self-harm. It says criminalised threats of death, serious harm, and encouraging serious self-harm applied to digital communication. The first prosecution under self-harm encouragement occurred in July 2025 via Telegram. You had democratically important and journalistic content exemptions. It said platforms must preserve access to user comments or content tied to political discourse or journalism. They cannot remove such content without scrutiny or risk creating bias via moderation policies. This clause primarily targets large platforms, Category 1 services, and must be reflected in their terms of service and moderation code. So it, like I said, primarily targets Category 1. So when you're looking at others, smaller, independent journalism or, the smaller fish, it's easier for them to have the power to shut them down in that respect. Encrypted messaging though the government will not enforce breaking encryption immediately, the Act empowers Ofcom to require providers to use accredited technology or client-side scanning or breaking end-to-end encryption to detect CSE material, and once it's technically feasible. It says critics warn this introduces systemic surveillance risks and undermines trust in services like Signal or WhatsApp, and could spur companies to block UK users altogether. And on the consequences for platforms and content creators, it said it must embed safety by design, annual risk assessments, algorithmic accountability, filtering controls, and age assurance systems, including possibly intrusive biometrics or behavior-based interference tools. I think Sansom was saying that he had to. Am I right in saying you had to scan your face to get onto a Discord platform?
Yeah, just a regular.
I've seen a lot of people saying that.
Yeah,
to get onto their Discords,
they had to scan their faces already just to get on like a thread board, which is pretty insane. But this is what I wanted to focus on as well. In particular, the Secretary of State's power over Ofcom. It says Section 44 grants the Secretary of State authority to direct or modify Ofcom's draft codes of practice for reasons including national security, public policy, or public safety. Ofcom must comply even if changes are withheld or redacted before laid before Parliament. This enables potential politicisation of content, regulation, and erodes Ofcom's policy-making independence. It says under Section 44, when Ofcom submits a draft code of practice, the Secretary of State may direct Ofcom to modify it if deemed necessary for reasons such as, national security, public safety, public health, international relations, and compliance with international obligations.
So basically, in sum, when the government has said, we've had enough of Tommy Robinson,
essentially,
she can. So you've got the bullshit, and then she can just do what she wants.
Yeah,
as Secretary of State.
Yeah.
So it says
Yvette Cooper.
Yeah, it says
we're in trouble.
Yeah, it says Ofcom is meant to function as an independent regulator, but Section 44 gives ministers formal veto-like control over the final code content.
Even the public health comment. That's the vaccines again.
Yeah.
We can shut you up and we'll shut you down. So she can step in if there was a mass movement coming out against new vaccines or new lockdowns or anything. She
say that's harmful.
No, public health, shut up, you lot.
So Ofcom having this kind of control is bad enough because they're awful.
Yeah.
And then if that's not bad enough, you get Yvette Cooper behind them.
And they're politicised already.
Oh yeah,
Ofcom's,
totally everyone calls them the off-communists for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
even just yesterday, Farage has a revolutionary communist on his show, and it's a cliche at this point, but you wouldn't have the fascist party for balance, right?
No.
So it shows the inherent, it's inherently political bias.
But they never go after like Jeremy Vine or whoever saying their lies with their left-wingers. They never have a right one. No.
So in short, according to AI, when investigating it as well, it says a government in office might use Section 44 to steer codes around issues like misinformation, foreign influence, or political speech. aligning safety codes with political interests rather than regulatory logic. And it says safety by design versus party line by design. Ofcom's technical expertise may be superseded by policy shortcuts. For example, enforcing stricter measures on some harms or weakening others based on public relations or diplomatic considerations.
So it basically gives them just carte blanche to do it as they feel like it should be done. The rules are actually not really the rules. The rules are essentially guidelines, and they can be overridden whenever they want. Brilliant.
Which is
left-wing communist government.
And many people for the past few years have been really shouting about this particular bill, saying it's not what it seems to be. It's painted up as this, child protection thing when most of the stuff is illegal anyway. And it's a way to just crowbar in things like that. More power to the state, more power to shut down speech, more power to have control over platforms, social media, because social media now, like X, is extremely powerful. I mean, what did your Silenced documentary manage to get views?
67 million.
Very good.
It's pretty good. It's
How
pretty
did
good.
that work, Justice Nicklin?
So, but you mentioned something to add as well. That
they talk about protecting kids a lot, don't they?
Yes. This is a thread by Anna, or I can't quite say it. Pagliacci, the hated.
Yeah, she's very good.
Very good. She's done a whole thread on judges that she's identified in
paedophiles off.
Yeah.
And this is a real problem with British judges for some reason. I have no idea why we're like this.
Because they're all paedophiles.
Well, we can only make assumptions, but we don't have any proof of anything of that.
No.
Just FYI, have to say that.
Yep, I didn't name
it. But I mean, what reason would there be? I mean, if we scroll through the list, it's just crazy how it's just constant, like judge after judge.
Who's this lady here?
The one reporting?
The one doing this reporting?
She's a
citizen journalist.
Yeah, citizen.
Okay, well,
called Pagliacci. Her name's actually Anna. But she's very, very hot on all of this stuff, and honestly, her Twitter feed.
32 months for refusing to move out of the way of police officers.
Yep.
You let a paedophile who collected baby rape videos walk with no jail time.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
He had good character.
Oh well.
He had good character.
Can you even imagine? They got just like more.
So I think because you brought this up, you said about this particular thread that ties in with safety of children, and but then this is completely overlooked.
Judges just letting pedos off all the time.
They're just naive idiots, like that girl we saw. They even look the same. They got the same hair. You know that girl earlier with the perm, that leftist girl that got shouted at. They're all just naive.
I have no idea. I'm
talking about when it says he showed remorse and things like this.
It's hard to understand what the possible rationale could be. If not that they were just in favour of what these men did. I'm saying, well, they're men of good character.
7,000 child rape images and told him not to do it
could
again.
Be
you naughty boy.
And he gave 20.
It's the insanity of liberalism where it hits the point where you sympathise with the criminal above everyone else.
Yeah.
When you get. Gone.
Sorry, yeah, you are right.
I was just going to say anarcho-tyranny because I say it every episode, but that's what you end up with.
And the thing is, just if you want more, just go look at Pagliacci's Twitter feed. It is brutal, and honestly, I've yet to see something she's wrong about, frankly. And her feed's a whole house of horrors. But this is exactly the point. This is not, if we wanted to protect children, surely these guys would be in jail.
Yeah, not the person who shouted at the police dog.
Yeah. Believe it or not, shouting at the police dog and being racist, not quite as bad as downloading 7,000 child rape images. I don't know why I have to say that.